Hello and welcome to my first playthrough of a very long game, my first RPG, Final Fantasy VII. Now this is my personal favourite game, has been ever since the first time I played it, and nothing has ever even come close to rivaling it. And a lot of you guys appear to be similarly excited. You seem to feel the same way about me doing this playthrough. The nostalgia with this game is just immense. So yeah, obviously we have to sort of sit through the little intro here. We sort of have to look at stars and shit for 2 minutes. So I'll just quickly explain what the game is about. So you start the game out. You are Cloud. Well, he is the avatar that you spend most of the game playing behind. And the way things start out, he's a mercenary. He's hired by a rebel group called Avalanche. Now, their goal is to, well, they don't agree with the Shinra, who are like the government in Final Fantasy VII, and you know, they sort of set out to destroy the Shinra, and you know, that's sort of the way things start out anyway. So this is the first bit of, I guess, cinematic. There are, fun fact, there's over 2 hours of video in Final Fantasy VII, just clips like this. That's crazy. How do you fit 2 hours of video into a a game like this? Modern games don't even have that, with their special CGI and really intense storylines. But yeah, that cute little girl there, she's her name is Ares, or actually, some people call her Aerith. I guess it depends which version of the game you have, which region of the world you're in. I believe in the Japanese version she's called Aerith, but it's Ares. Well, I've always pronounced it Ares anyway. Whatever you guys want to call her, that's fine. So this is the city of Midgar, and now we're just gonna. It's going to slowly pan in. We're sort of on this train. We get off, and we start on the first, I guess, mission you could say. And yeah, so we're just entering the first reactor in this city, and our job here, as the sort of mercenary that Barrett and his sort of Avalanche group have hired us to do, is to take down this reactor. We sort of plant a bomb and blow it up. So yeah, let's get things going. One thing you will notice is Final Fantasy VII has the best music ever. I'm not just saying that because it's my favourite game. I mean, if you read around the internet, a lot of people will agree that Final Fantasy VII has the best video game music of any game. I guess the only thing that kind of lets it down is the polygons. I mean, look, let's run up to the camera. We have really fucked up little arms, but for the most part, I mean, the rest of the graphics in this game are fantastic. So here we've got a couple of guards running out, and this is the first sort of battle to, I guess, get you used to the battle system. We're fighting on our own, and we obviously don't have a name yet because we haven't reached that screen. But I'll quickly go through the battle thing with you. Obviously, item, if you want to use a potion, you want to use an ether, that restores your MP, restores life. So I'm going to turn that off for now because we don't really need it. Magic spells, we only have 2 materia at the moment. Your magic spells, the things that allow you to cast various spells in this game, are called materia, for anybody that doesn't know. And obviously throughout this playthrough, I'm going to do my best not to spoil it for you guys. If, you know, for any of you, those of you that haven't played it before, you know, I'll try not to spoil it. But yeah, once you have watched this full playthrough, or you know, if you have played the game before, watch Final Fantasy VII Advent Children the movie. It's really great. And it's really worth watching, but I wouldn't recommend watching it until you've actually played through Final Fantasy VII. Now, there's a lot of text in Final Fantasy VII and a lot of reading. You can pretty much read it as it sort of comes up, but for the sake of this playthrough, I'm going to put it on the fastest setting at the first option I get. And if you ever want to read through any of it, you can just, I guess, pause the video or whatever. We don't want to make things too long. So we're going to rename Cloud to Stokenut. S-T-O-K... Where's the N? N-U-T. And he's the only character that we are going to rename. This is so cool. I've never done a Final Fantasy VII playthrough with Cloud named to Stokenut, so yeah, this is going to be fun. I mean, I've always seen myself as a Cloud. I know I don't really look like him, but yeah, and I love the relationship that Cloud and Tifa have. I don't know, it's cute. It's really great, the connection they have, you know, from when they were kids and all that. And what, did that make me sound like a bit of a pedo? But yeah, this is Barrett. He's one of the main characters, obviously, because it's letting us select his name. And he's a cool guy. He's got a gun on his arm, so his attacks are pretty much yeah, he basically has a gun grafted onto his arm. And I'm not going to ruin the backstory as to why he has a gun grafted onto his arm, but we sort of learn that. I think it might be either near the end of this disc, or near the end of disc. No, near the middle of disc 2. For those that also don't know, Final Fantasy VII is split onto 3 discs. It's such a big game that they weren't able to fit it all onto one PlayStation disc, so they had to split it into 3 different discs. Now we're going to make the battle speed a little bit quicker. Battle messages, again, they can be kind of quick, but field messages, the general text that comes up in game, I'm just going to make it really fast because we don't really want it to be too, too intrusive and to slow the speed run down. Not the speed run. I wish it was a no, I don't, because I would never be able to do a speed run of this game. So one thing you'll notice about Final Fantasy VII, as with any of the other Final Fantasy games, is you'll just be running around and doing whatever, and you can be entered into a battle at random. You don't really have any choice over it. You can run out of a battle. I think if you hold down L1 and R1, your character will run backwards, and if you hold them down for like 5 seconds, you can... That's kind of laggy. Yeah, the emulator does lag from time to time, especially with this game. I guess it's a game that's sort of heavy on virtual resources, but for the most part it should be watchable, and there shouldn't be too much lag. So now we're on our way into the reactor. The 2 guys that we've got with us, I believe one of them is Jesse, and the other one, I think it's Biggs. Could be Wedge, not too sure. We'll just sort of get straight through this. Barrett is obviously with us now, so when we do enter battles, he will be alongside us. I think it's great how I actually remember that if we come down here, there's a little chest that we can get. And I remember all these little things about the game. A Phoenix Down is for if one of your characters dies in a battle, you can use one of your living characters to use a Phoenix Down on another character, and it'll bring him back to life. He'll only have like 10% HP, but being alive is a lot better than being dead. And you can only have a maximum of 3 of your characters in any battle. I know with some of the Final Fantasy games it's 4 characters. Some of the games like Final Fantasy X, you can switch characters, you can bring any of your available characters into any battle at any time. But yeah, you can't do that with this game. Obviously Barrett has some huge issues with the Shinra company, so he's sort of the head of Avalanche, and he's employing us for this mission. We're not really teamed up yet as partners in sort of the greater, main mission of the game. When I first played this, I thought, okay, this is Reactor 1, there are 8 reactors, because after we do this reactor, there will be a second reactor that we sort of go to. And I was under the impression that, oh, Barrett doesn't come with any materia. I was under the impression that Barrett, that our goal would be to go from reactor 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way up to 8, just take out all the reactors and just bring down the government. And I thought that would be the whole, the whole idea behind the game. But it's actually nothing like that. I'm not going to spoil it, and that's all I'll tell you for now. But yeah, it's actually very different, and eventually we actually get out of this city, and we find that this city is just one city of... I'm not sure how many, there's about 15 maybe or so in the game that we can sort of go around and visit, and it's just a really deep game. I think someone said that there were about 50 hours of gameplay. I remember reading when I was a lot younger, 50 hours or so of unique gameplay in Final Fantasy VII, and that's if you actually know what you're doing. I mean, the main storyline takes 20 to 25 hours, I would say, from my own sort of my own experience of the game, but there's just so much more stuff we can do. I mean, there are 2 whole characters with full backstories and all that stuff that sort of come with the character, and side quests and all that you don't even have to do. And I'm not sure which ones we'll do and which ones we will leave out. We'll probably try to do as many of them as possible, but obviously the main goal of this playthrough will be to experience the main storyline. But I think we will get the 2 extra characters at some point. There's also a prequel game to Final Fantasy VII as well. It's called Before Crisis, and I actually haven't played it, so I can't really give you any information on that other than I think it was released for the PSP. But yeah, you should check that out at some point. I might even... Ooh, no, we don't talk to him. I personally haven't played it, and what we're going to do with these things is, for now, we're going to just play save point to save point. So whenever we reach a save point, we will we'll use the save point, we'll save the game, and that will be a segment. Obviously, when we get later in the game, and you can sort of save whenever you want, I guess we'll sort of judge, you know, when is a good time to save, when is not a good time to save. Now, these are save points, but we're not going to end the video just yet, because I know that just down here we plant the first bomb, and we encounter the first... I don't know if you can really call it a boss, because it's not that difficult, but you know, it's kind of a boss. So, and we've been kind of unlucky. Isn't this like the 4th battle we've had already? Yeah, I mean, I'm sure I remember only getting, you know, put into a fight once. But yeah, there are some really hardcore Final Fantasy VII fans out there. The highest level you can get your character to is 99, kind of just like in RuneScape. And there are people that have actually, well, there's at least one guy that I know of that's actually gotten all his characters to level 99 just by killing the very basic enemies that you get in this stage, the very beginning of the game. And you know, that took him a crazy number of hours to do. But yeah, and obviously the amount of XP you need to level up increases exponentially, so it's obviously not going to be just, you know, 200, 300 XP. It gets high in like the hundreds of thousands per level, so we're just going to heal up a little bit because we've got a boss coming, and you know, dying isn't great. Actually, I'm going to take one of Cloud's materia off. Oh, wrong button. Wait, what? Oh, we can't. Yeah, I get why. We haven't done the materia tutorial yet. That comes sort of a little bit later in the game, but I can't mess around. It's not going to let me mess around with the materia just yet. So, oh, here's another one. This is a free one. Let's restore materia. That's just like using a cure spell. You know, it's the same as using a potion or whatever on one of your characters, except it uses MP instead of, you know, a particular item that you've got. Huh. And that sort of little red flashback that Cloud just had, that's sort of related to the end game storyline, and you'll only sort of get that once you put all the pieces together, and some people don't even get it when they've completed the game. I'm not going to ruin it for you guys, because I would like, as a sort of goal for these playthroughs, for you guys to go and play the games yourself, and that's kind of what I want to achieve. So this is kind of the first boss. He's called the Guard Scorpion. And the first couple of times I played this game, I had real difficulty doing it, because I didn't actually realise that there's a little bit of a boss mechanic here. When it's about half hit points, I think Cloud will say, only attack, its tail is up, attack. But what you should actually do is not attack, because when it puts its tail up, it will counter-attack with a really powerful laser sort of attack. And so yeah, when its tail goes up, we just pretty much sit there and do nothing. Oh, and the limit bar, I guess a lot of you... Well, yeah, it's just like any kind of limit bar you'd have in any Final Fantasy VII. They're obviously called different things. I know that in Final Fantasy X it's called the overdrive, and that goes up as you sort of take damage. Oh man, I love the Final Fantasy VII music. It's so hard not to just shut up and, you know, listen to the music, because it's fantastic. I will gladly sit there and listen to the Final Fantasy VII soundtrack over and over, and I can listen to it all day, and I just do not get bored at all. Okay, so is that its tail going up? Yeah, its tail's up, so we're just going to leave it. Actually, I'll use a potion on Barret. We don't really need to, but we may as well, since we've got a turn to waste. When the tail goes down, we attack again. Whenever you feel like it. So yeah, I did already record this first segment, and obviously, just because it's my luck, I actually forgot to record the audio. So this is actually my second attempt at doing this. Hopefully I won't make that fuck up again, because I really don't want to have to. And I apologise if there's any lag in the battles. I'm noticing it skips a very tiny bit. You know, nothing huge, nothing that kind of ruins it at all. But yeah, I can sort of notice it. I don't know if you guys can, but there's not a lot I can do about it. You know, this game is pretty much, when it was released, it maxed out the PlayStation more or less. It used all of the system resources, and you can tell just by the sort of graphics and the depth of the game. You will notice as we sort of, you know, play into it a little bit more, and you know, get a lot deeper into the game, that for its day, you've got to remember this came out in 1997, you know, this was a state-of-the-art game, and this was the #1 game for quite a number of months. Woohoo, level up. Assault gun. I think that's an extra weapon for Barrett. I'm not sure if we can equip him straight away with that weapon. And now we have a little 10-minute timer, so I'm going to have to be really quick. We shouldn't run out of time, but oh, we will if my screensaver doesn't fuck off. Right, there we go. Can we equip him with... Yep. May as well give it straight to him. But what we're going to do now, guys, is we're going to go to the save point, we're going to save the game, and that'll be it for this segment. So, I hope you guys are looking forward to playing through this game as much as I am. And I understand that, you know, some of the first few battles and maybe even the first hour or two of the game aren't as interesting as the later stages of the game. So, you know, kind of, I'm going to have to ask you to bear with us for that. I can't really do anything about it. But for the sake of playing through the game, obviously we have to sort of... we have to go at it. So I'm going to save over this. As you can see, I did do it before, but the save was completely fucked. So thanks guys for watching. If you would like to see more of this series, please rate the video, leave me a comment with any suggestions, topics you'd like to talk about, things you would like to see covered in these videos, and which side quests would you like to see happen. So yeah, as always guys, that's all for now. So until next time, take care.